time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T. from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Yeah, that's me. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. You're on the air and everywhere with me, Jesse T. And, of course, we're broadcasting from the community to the world. And Southern California is still on fire. Yeah, well, the...
Burn, baby, burn!
Oh, Disco Inferno. That's right. Hey, look it. The Skirball fire is out. The Creek fire is out. The Rye Canyon fire is out. The Thomas fire is out of control. 96,000 acres, something in the area of 96 to 99 square miles of land and thousands of homes they're estimating now, not just a few hundred, and they haven't gotten that count up yet. But thousands, they feel, after the smoke clears and it's all done, when they can actually get in there and start counting all the structures. A hospital burned down, school burned down, some commercial buildings burned down. That Thomas fire is the worst fire I've ever seen here in Southern California. And I've been here for 55 of my 57 years. So it's a bad one. Thank goodness, though, the Creek fire in the northeast San Fernando Valley, where we broadcasted from yesterday, is out. I didn't see any smoke coming in today. Rye Canyon fire out in Santa Clarita, the Valencia area is out. But you can come down the freeway there, the 5 and the 14, and you can see that way, way west of us, Ventura County is all in flames and smoke. There's a new fire that started up, last check, it was about 300 acres a few hours ago out in Riverside County, the Murrieta fire. Murrieta Hot Springs is out there. It's a terrific place if you've ever been there. Anyway, it's in a place called Liberty Canyon, or the Liberty Fire. I saw the big giant L-1011, Lockheed L-1011s. These were jumbo jets of their time. I remember flying across the country in those L-1011s. Those was actually one of my favorite jets to fly in, dropping the retardant and all kinds of large aircraft out there, trying to get that one under control. Lee Michaels said, he talked to me today earlier, just a few minutes ago, said that there's fires going on in San Diego County. Lee, what's happening in San Diego County? Because I didn't get a chance to check the updates. What's going on in San Diego County?
I don't know the exact location. I'll try to figure that out or find that information for you, but that's the latest one.
So San Diego County now.
Yeah, earlier this morning when I was on the air around 10, there was even a little brush fire in Manhattan Beach.
Really?
Yeah,
but near the ocean.
The street, yeah. So
you know,
something's happening.
Something's happening because
I think some arsenic nutball whack job is out there doing
it certainly might be, but it also might be, directed energy weapons from a drone. And we're going to talk about
directed
energy weapons, otherwise known as heat lasers.
Oh.
From drones.
I thought you were talking about jock itch.
No, but I'm going to have that after Saturday, that's for sure. Jesse T is going to be scratching and itching. In fact, I ought to start a dance called Scratching and Itching.
Yeah.
That's right, because I don't know if you guys know, if you've been following us and following me, all year long I've been training for an endurance race coming up, and my time is one day away from racing in Castaic Dam in all the mountains up there, the Spartan Sprint Challenge here in Los Angeles at Castaic, 5 miles of mountain running, rigorous mountain running, as well as 25 different obstacles that I got to go over and around and through and under and pulling and pushing. And I even get to throw a spear. They're actually going to let Jesse T throw a spear on the course. Oh, boy, I hope nobody passes me up that I'm terribly pissed off at, because I just might throw that spear and say, oops, I'm sorry. Oops, there it is. Sounds like a Paula Abdul song or something like that. But anyhow, that's happening this Saturday, and I did a test run with my Spartan Pro son, and I ran just under 5 miles. I didn't get a chance to go through all the obstacles, but I ran under the 5 mile mark. continuous running, and did the course as best we could map it out. And I completed it in 1 hour and 5 minutes. So I know all year's training has worked out and got me in pretty good fit condition. I got to tell you, and I'm so looking forward to it. It's a day. My family bought me some special running clothes, you know. I get to wear those leotards, you know, those tights like the Three Musketeers. I wanted some big, brilliant pink and yellow ones. I wanted to really show my Mexican heritage. Bright yellow, green, and pink. Like a piñata. I wanted to be a giant Mexican piñata running up and down, but my family wouldn't let me. So, you know, I don't know why they wouldn't let me that. I wanted to be like the movie, you know, Zohan, you know, the guy that had the big bush out there in front, right? You know, the mighty Zohan movie from a couple of years ago. And I wanted to be like that guy. So, you know, but no, look at my tights. I'm not going to be ball-hugging tights. I'm not going to be flip-flopping like a fish on a tuna boat. Thank you very much. And no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wear some shorts over it. That's right. So I want to spare. I don't want any sexual harassment, right? I want to spare the referees and the judgments from Jesse's T's giant bulge. Yes. Well, maybe I was going to stuff some socks down there or something. I don't know. But anyhow, they bought me these cool tights. They bought me this cool shirt so I get to show off my muscles. Hey, I get to show off my muscles. That's right. Right? I can feel like a Muscle Beach, right? Up there running in the mountains of Castaic. What in God's name does any human being want to run in the mountains for 5 miles? Are we just crazy? I think we're just a bit insane in the membrane, like Cypress Hill used to say. Anyhow, what a great song that was in the 90s. But anyway, so I'll be running out there on Saturday, and I hope to complete it. You know, my first goal was just to complete it. Then my second goal was to try to complete it in 3 hours. But since I ran the race in 1 hour and 5 minutes without the obstacles last Sunday as a test run, sort of like a NASCAR race. You know, I went out there and I test drove the track and I kind of did my qualifying time. And so I think that I'm going to do pretty good. I don't want to say that I'm going to be, you know, the road runner or the Tasmanian devil or, you know, something like that. But I think that I'm going to not be a turtle. I'm not going to be a tortoise. Yes.
You'll be the last one to come in?
I'm not going to be the last one to come in. I'm going to come in. I don't know what my time's going to be. My son sort of thinks that I'm going to be able to break the 2 hour mark. That's what he's thinking. But it just depends how many of the obstacles I don't get through, and I have to do burpees as a penalty. You have to do 30 burpees off to the side if you don't get through an obstacle. So that eats up a lot of time because I'm up to doing about 100 burpees now I can do. Remember, I can only do one, but nevertheless, 30 burpees takes it out of you, especially when you're running and doing obstacles. Then you have to do 3 of those or 4 of those in a row. So that really starts eating up your time in that respect. So nevertheless, that's going to be happening on Saturday, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we're going to try to do some post-ups and Facebook, Instagram stuff and see what we can do in terms of covering it for you a little bit. I may have my son's going to run with me. Well, actually, I'm going to run, and he's going to, you know, have steak and lobster while he's running with me.
He's laughing at you.
Yeah, he's going to be reading, the 5th edition of Shakespeare in Old English. I mean, there's no comparison. He does this same race in 39 minutes. Yeah, there's no comparison. There's the only comparison is that he's my son. Yes, but wish me luck, guys. Anyhow, saying hi to Andrew Harrison or Ashford Harrison. Linda Cates Festing has us on. Hey, one of our favorite directors, a very, very talented man, Massimiliano Cerce, has us on. He says he can't hear me, though. He says, I cannot hear you. Only the music, he says. So are you guys hearing me okay?
Well, that was in the beginning when your mic wasn't on.
Oh, that's why. So I hope everybody can hear me. And Becky Romero is on. Angela Capri is on. Yes, our Hollywood Italian beautiful lady. Thank you very much. Instagram Live over here to the left of me. And, of course, we're on YouTube. We're really pushing out YouTube now. YouTube, because we do all our archiving, which basically is a podcast. You can retrieve it anytime. YouTube.com/Jesse Torrero. And we do broadcast live there, and it automatically goes to a automatic archive and podcast, so you can see all the shows and all the things we do. We're going to be really starting to emphasize YouTube and that here coming into 2018. We want to really grow that subscribership. Right now it's free, but we're going to have some giveaways and some gifts and some cool trips and stuff that I'm going to be attaching to that for our members and subscribers. So you might want to go get involved in that right now so you can be one of the very few or that get in early and get some cool stuff in 2018. We're arranging that right now. But it's good to have you with us. Linda Festing says, we are loud and clear. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so back to the fires. I was out yesterday. We did a different kind of roundup, wound-up show. The fellas, I took some time off from the show because I had to cover the fire. I just at least had to get out there and try to do something out there covering and bring it to you my way, Jesse T's way. Just missed bringing on the news conference that was held out at the command center at Handsome Dam there last night. They just were finishing as we were going on the air. So I talked a little bit about that, but the disaster kind of went down completely overnight. The winds didn't pick up like they were thinking they would, and it looks like the creek fire is all under control. In fact, I didn't see any smoke or anything. So if the creek fire has started back up, let me know, will you, please? But as far as I understand at this point, the creek fire is over with, over 30 buildings, houses burned, and about almost 13,000 acres, and it was pretty disastrous. So we were out there broadcasting live roundup, wound up, and bringing all the information there that we possibly could within the hour that we were on the air last night. So today, I wanted to kind of chat a little bit about why did all this happen? How did all this happen? I mean, don't you find it a coinkydink? That's like coincidental. That's Torrero speak. Coinkydink. Don't you find it like it's a coinkydink? The dots don't match. Overnight, the Thomas fire starts. Then overnight, the same night, the creek fire starts. Then overnight, the same night, the San Bernardino fire starts. Then the Rye Canyon fire starts. Then one day later, the Skirball fire starts. And now we have the Liberty Canyon or Liberty fire that has started. And some reports now about a fire down in San Diego County and a possible brush fire that was started in Manhattan Beach. Now, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know Los Angeles, it's not like any other city in the United States of America. It really isn't. There is nothing like Los Angeles. It was created to be a giant suburb that just went on and on and on. There is and really was no cosmopolitan specific area as the city spread out and population grew because there was so much flat land here. No trees, no boulders, no things to have to build and move and tear down. Just endless miles of flat land that they could build on. And that they did. And they built this sprawling Los Angeles suburbia that literally encompasses 5 major counties. Los Angeles County, right in the middle and on the Pacific Ocean. Then east of us, you have San Bernardino County, always known as the Inland Empire. To the south of San Bernardino County and also abutting LA County, you have Riverside County. And then down south, which also abuts LA County and Riverside County, you have San Diego County. And then as you go north, northwest, you have Ventura County that also abuts LA County. And then off into the distance, a little farther away, you do have Kern County, which also abuts and touches LA County at Fraser Park, which is 100 miles north of where we're at right now. This county, this 5-county region, is so massive. It's not like New York, where everything's just jam-packed into the island. And it's not like Philadelphia or Boston or Chicago. It's not like St. Louis or Atlanta. It's not like Dallas or Fort Worth or Houston. It's San Francisco, Kansas City. None of the states are like, the cities are like Los Angeles. It just goes on. So it is massively huge. And it takes some time to get across this county. If you get stuck in traffic, which used to be drive time traffic between 3 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 7, and drive time morning between 5 and 10, 6 and 9, right in there. It used to be it would take you a lot of time to get anywhere, but then the middle of the day and the night and overnight would open up, and you could scamper along real quick and get all across the valley the way the freeways intentioned us to be able to travel across L.A. I mean, used to go from Burbank, California to Santa Monica, the end of Route 66, Route 66. I get my kicks on Route 66. Remember that movie, that TV series from the 1950s, Route 66? Well, it ends at Santa Monica Pier, off into the Pacific Ocean. And the other end is in Chicago. So you have that route right there, right? Well, you could go from that Santa Monica Pier to downtown Burbank, where remember NBC used to be in the Johnny Carson show, beautiful downtown Burbank. And of course, the big studios are there now, and everybody kind of knows what Burbank is. Everybody kind of knows that. I call it Burbankian now because everything above Glendale or Glen Oaks Avenue is basically all Armenian, and Glendalian has spilled over into Burbankian. So we're just changing the names. That's what I do. I change the name. Everything's got a nickname with me. But nevertheless, from Burbank to Santa Monica in 1976, it used to take me 20 minutes in the middle of the day, rush hour or not, in summer, to get in my car and travel from Burbank to Santa Monica Pier. Of course, that's when the water was clear and they didn't poop and pee in the ocean bay there all the time, and you didn't see condoms and trash all swept up, and you could actually see your feet in the water. Now you can't, but that's another topic. But here's the point: 20 minutes. Used to go that route in 20 minutes, and in standard regular traffic, even in drive time. Now, at night, at 2 o'clock in the morning, when there's supposed to be no traffic, if you take that same direction, it's going to take you every bit of an hour to go from Burbank to Santa Monica, because the minute you get into the city of Santa Monica, it's packed. The 2 freeway that dumps off into the Pacific Ocean is packed. So drive time now is 24 hours a day. So for somebody to go from Ventura to San Bernardino Riverside, you're looking at about a 100-mile drive, okay, give or take. All right, now, in order to do that 100-mile drive, it definitely, in traffic, is going to take you all day long. All day long, because you're going to get stuck in drive time traffic somewhere, and that is just going to eat your time up. Now, I'm talking about this because there was a question that came up out there at the conference yesterday about arson. Were these fires started by an arsonist? Were they started by several people lighting these fires up? Were they started by falling down electrical transformers and wires? Were they started by a car that caught on fire by the side of the road? Were they started by cigarettes? How the officials last night ruled out arson. They didn't see any kind of arson kind of concepts that were going on then. Of course, that might change over the next week to 2-3 weeks when all this stuff goes away. So if it was an arsonist, then this guy he must have been driving a Harley, and he'd go in between the lanes. because he got around town now real fast. He covered basically 3 or 4 counties to start these fires. And all these fires started in the morning. They didn't start in daytime. They all started overnight. So that means this character would have had to go from Ventura to San Bernardino at nightfall, at least after 11 or 12 o'clock, to sunrise. All right? That's quite a feat. It's not that it can't be done, but it's quite a feat. So the question came up, was there maybe more than one arsonist? They ruled out the arsonist. The L.A. County Fire Chief ruled out arson. The LAPD ruled out arson. L.A. County Sheriff's Department ruled out arson at this point. So let's just kind of put that on the back burner for a second. You have fires that started they seem to were talking about between 12 midnight and 3 in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning. That's when these fires kind of all started, the first fires a few days ago. And it seems like they all started in rural kind of areas. Even the Skirball fire, which started here along the 405 freeway, just across from the Getty Museum, and it didn't jump that big giant fire breaker, that 405 San Diego freeway, but that whole east mountain was on blaze fire. You can see those pictures and photos on the internet, people driving through it. Unbelievable, straight out of a disaster film. You couldn't get better footage of that because that was real. So you have, even that fire started in the remote sections where a lot of houses are, but on the side where a lot of brush was. So as remote could be, even though Bel Air is right there, okay? And it's pretty built up. All right. So if arson's not the main thing, then the theory is that because we didn't have any rain in September, October, November, and December, and all that rain that we had last year, I mean, where it was just overflows of fresh water everywhere, all the reservoirs, all the dams, all the canals, all the waterways, all the water basin areas like the Sacramento Delta, all just filled to the brink of water. So much water that they took all of California off of water rationing. And it had been that way for years. So all that water grew a lot of vegetation. All right, that's logical, sure. And since we didn't have any rain between September, October, November, and this part of December, that vegetation that was already there before the rains of last year just got thicker and thicker and thicker with the new growth of vegetation that eventually dried out as well. So because of the Santa Anas that always come in. Now, let me tell you about the Santa Anas. The Santa Anas come in off the high desert. The high desert to the east of us is Palm Springs, is the Mojave Desert, is the Antelope Valley. This is the high desert, okay? They're at 3,000 feet above sea level, okay, just to start with. And so you get that wind that comes out and down across the state of Nevada and through Arizona, and it picks up speed as it hits California because you get the cold wind that comes down from the north, from Washington and Oregon, from Alaska, from those frigid areas. It rotates down and it hits this high, hotter wind that comes off the deserts, and it hits each other, and it creates like a giant funnel, like a jet stream. And that jet stream comes right through the LA basin, right through the San Fernando Valley, through the canyons, and as it gets squashed down into the canyons, these jet streams get faster and faster and faster because of the heat of the mountains, the atmosphere above, and the heat from the ground, and it's just like these tunnels of 80-mile-an-hour projectiles, except, of course, they are in air, in wind, okay? So that's what Santa Anas are, essentially. Now, I'm not a meteorologist, but that's basically what Santa Anas are, okay? So you get these winds that come through and create so much friction in the dry grass and dry tundra that some of it, dry area that hasn't burned in 60 to 70 years, with all this new growth that dried out, that didn't burn like in the Sand Canyon 35,000 acre fire last year, this new growth and the old growth drying out, this friction creates, and it doesn't take much for a flame to start. You know, you've seen those guys like Bear Grylls. They rub their hands together with a stick. And they eventually create friction, and then the air fuels it. The fuel gets fueled by the air, and all of a sudden, poof of smoke, and then an ember, and then a fire. Okay? If you've ever done that, you ought to do that. It's hard to do that. If you've never done that before, it's going to take you a whole day to figure out how to do it, even if somebody shows you. It's very difficult to start fire out of nothing. I mean, that is really something. And when you start fire, it's like from the movie Castaways with Tom Hanks, when he started fire and he stood up and he went, "I am the fire god. I started fire." Right? That's what it makes you feel like when you start your first fire like that. It's overwhelming, man. It really is crazy. All right, so nevertheless, so now the idea here is that friction, it doesn't cause much, doesn't take much to make these dry lands burst into flames. Okay. I can accept that. I can accept that to some point. And I can accept that because if a fire starts over there, like the Thomas fire, okay. Maybe if a fire starts over the Creek fire, okay. But when you have the Thomas fire, the Creek fire, the Rye Canyon fire, the San Bernardino fire, and the Skirball fire, all starting at the same time, more or less. Now, is that a coincidence, or have I had too much tequila to drink? Because the dots just don't seem to add up. That's like 10 people winning the California lottery that bought tickets in 10 different states. That doesn't happen. Period. The statistics against that have got to be astronomical. For any statisticians that are out there, please let me know, because they got to be like giant huge. Okay? So the dots for me just aren't clicking. Now, since the officials last night were saying it's not arson, and if you think if it was arson, it would definitely have to be more than one arsonist, because he's just or she's just not going to get around the community that fast and that time and nobody see this person. Not with all the cell cams, the cams covering our houses, the parks, the everywhere. It's just not going to be seen. It's just not going to happen. All right, so if we rule out those two things just for a matter of conversation and a hypothetical, then what the heck caused all these fires to happen at once? Now, I have been living here for a long time, and I've seen fires burn to the Pacific Ocean on 3 or 4 different occasions and not destroy one building because, of course, in yesteryear, the housing wasn't just right up to the mountains and up the mountain sides and cliffs. They didn't build that way. But now the housing has encroached upon the natural paths of air and fire that has naturally burned here for a millennia and more. The natives used to call it the Valley of Smoke. And not because the air blew up all the dust, that had something to do with it, but because the mountains were always on fire. And they had no way of putting out the fire. It would just burn and burn and burn. And burn and burn and burn to the Pacific Ocean and eventually burn itself out. Okay. But now there's a lot more fuel, so there's a lot more damage, and it's just much more of a tragedy because as you build, you create more fuel. It further makes the fire grow. And when fire is growing and getting hotter and hotter and the air is pushing it, it makes a growl like you've never heard before. If you ever covered a fire up close, I have. It's unbelievably eerie. This growl it makes. It's unbelievable. And the pine cones and the trees start popping and exploding. Gas tanks explode in cars. It literally is more or less in a war zone. Saying hi to our friends Mary Yesh on Instagram Live, and saying hi to, I hope I get this right, Edith Dominguez. Thanks all for having us on. And saying hi to Masamiya Sakahura. Thank you very much for tuning in to us, guys. We appreciate that. Jeannie Ambris. I hope I'm saying these names right because I've got the glasses on that I can't see anything with. Why? Because I got so frustrated with the glasses I can't see anything with. I broke them up into 1,000 pieces and threw them off into the desert mountains. I got so mad at them. Well, I was running and they kept falling off my head, and I just got pissed off and broke them up into 1,000 pieces. Now I have to suffer with glasses I have. They kind of look kind of cool, but I can't see anything. So I got to get some new glasses. I got to get my tooth put in too. I got the fake tooth out in the car with the retainer. I just keep forgetting to put it in because, quite frankly, I don't care. Hey, man. Hey, you either love Jesse T or you don't love Jesse T, right? Whether you like me with a tooth or not with a tooth right now, frankly, my dear, as Clark Gable used to say, I don't give a damn. But look, it just doesn't make sense. So I've got a theory. Yes, the Brown Beauty on duty, on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world, has a theory. It's just my opinion. It's just something that I think may have happened. Maybe it didn't. But you know, with all of this Washington, D.C. swamp cleaning, like they finally got rid of that Al Frankenworthless. I think he's a long-lost cousin to Diane Frankenstein. Well, I wish we'd get rid of her. Al Frankenworthless resigned today with all this clearing. Did you see what my post up on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero about that Senator Shorty? Shorty's his last name. He got caught by the police literally with the cameras rolling in a room, a motel room, trying to get this 17-year-old kid high on cannabis and have sex with him. And this guy's a young dude, man. This dude's like, maybe 35. I mean, really? Really, buddy? You can't find yourself a guy your age? Man, there's something got to be wrong with you. Yeah. Like they should be cutting your wanker off and throwing you in jail and make you a friggin' eunuch. That's what they should be doing. We should go back to Rome. We should enslave these pedophiles and perverts and sexual deviants that hurt kids and cut their wing-wangs off so they become eunuchs. Saying hi to Margarita. Hey, Margarita, what's happening? I kind of like pina colada. Virgin pina coladas because Jesse T doesn't drink. But I just love the sugar, baby. Oh, yeah. Give me that sugar. Sugar man. All right. So I don't want to be anybody's sugar daddy, though. That's for sure. So anyway, I got this idea. Because all the swamp cleaning in Washington, the elite of the world. Now, I'm not talking about Gates. He's a chump. I'm not talking about Jeff Bezos of Amazon. He's only worth $1 billion. He's a chump. $100 billion. He's a chump. I'm talking about old money of the world. Old power. Right? I'm talking about the elite of the elitist. I'm talking about the Catholic Church. I'm talking about the English monarchy. I'm talking about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. I'm talking about the Warburgs. Yeah. Those Arab sheiks and sheikhs, whatever they call themselves, the sheik and shakers, or the sheik and shakers. Yeah, they're Johnny-come-latelys. In fact, they were put there by America, Russia, France, and England after World War II when we cut up the Middle East and put the line across the demarcation zone in the Middle East. You know, there's a line. It's very interesting. Not many people know about that. Where if you were on this side of the line, you got those countries, and when you were on that side of the line, you got those countries. Yeah. There's a whole line there when they cut up the Middle East after World War II. So I'm talking about these. I'm talking about the 5 major banks of the world, being the IMF. Yeah, I'm not talking about banks. The Federal Reserve of this country. The big banks like HSBC, Deutsche, the Bank of China, 5 major banks that control the economy of the world. I'm talking about the 5 major corporations that own everything. You know, recently, the Nestle's CEO of the Nestle's Corporation had the audacity in a public speech to say this about water. And we know Nestle's water problems up there in Wisconsin and Minnesota. We know all about that, don't we? He actually said this about water. Human beings do not have a right to water. It is not a right for human beings to have water. Can you believe that? Look it up. Jesse T doesn't tell lies. No, sir. I can't do that. I wouldn't be me, Jesse T, if I was telling untruthful things. Look it up. Nestle owns so many major corporations that you think are independent. Well, there's 5 companies like that own every corporation in the world. So this is who I'm talking about. You see, what's going on with the swamp crap and the swamp crap on both sides of the nations as we're flushing the toilet is it is caught on in the general public. See, they misconstrued something. They control the media. But for the sensationalism that they thought they were going to get out of it and the destruction of Trump that they thought they were going to get out of it because he's breaking up the New World Order. He is not a globalist like every other president since the assassination and murdering of JFK. They thought they could do something with this. What they didn't realize is they empowered the peasants, the eons and eons of peons in the world, in America. That's you and me. We are just peons and peasants. And so is Bill Gates, and so is Jeff Bezos. These people are peons and peasants too compared to what I just said. See, they empowered us. And all of a sudden, you talk about a wildfire. All of a sudden, the wildfire took over. And all of a sudden, these deviant perverts, pedophilia, prostituting, sexual enslaving, human trafficking, awful, disgusting muskrat crap have been getting busted by the regular folks. Because now the regular folks are joining forces and they're coming out left and right from everywhere. See, this is what the elitists, the globalists don't want. This is what they fight for. They don't want Americans to join forces against them, because then it just turns into the French Revolution and off the heads with the aristocrats and the monarchy system. Drag them out of their palaces, the kings and the potentates. Put them in the middle of the plaza and cut their heads off. They don't want that. They're afraid of us. They are afraid of you. Not afraid of you individually. No, they could take you out. They take a lot of people out. But they're afraid of you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and me, and all of us. Because when the American people join forces, well, it's like this. There ain't no atheists in a foxhole. And when your enemy is attacking you, you don't give a damn what color he, she, or sexual preference he, she, or religious preference he, she is. Pick up the friggin' gun and lay some lead down yard. They don't want that. They don't want the American people to rise up. And what they're seeing is a start of their sexual deviant underlings that supplied these perverted pieces of buffalo tard with what they wanted. Just look into the disgusting nymphomaniac, disgusting, narcissistic, disgusting, absolutely atrocious interbreeding specialization that the English monarch family has done within and behind the walls of Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. Just look into that. The rapes, the incest. It's beyond sickening. You see, they don't want us to rise up. And we are on this one issue. And that fears them, puts the fear of God. So what do you do when it's out of control? Here it comes, guys. Here it comes. What do you do when you're losing control? Here it comes, baby. You blow some shit up. That's what you do. You make more destruction, death, and mayhem, chaos, and anarchy, and murder. You make a tragedy happen. That what does the American people do? With the brainwashing effect and the mind-numbing media directs a whole public to watch California burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. We get more fun out of watching people's houses burn to the ground on 5 different fires. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 all at once. Oh my God. They shift the program on a massive scale. But why? Because they don't want to lose control. And under this issue of this sexual harassment and perversity, their underlings that they control are losing it. From the news to the entertainment to the politicians, they're losing it. Because the American people, boys, girls, men, women, are coming out and saying, that person did that to me too. That's what happens when we unite for the fight for something that's right. Give me a sword and a shield and let me be there forever. I'll fight Satan and Lucifer in hell until hell freezes over, and when it melts again, I'll still be fighting. They don't want that. So how do you do this? You misdirect. You create a tragedy bigger than the tragedy that's happening. It is better than a masterpiece that Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci could ever have created. Einstein, in his genius wisdom, could not have put this one together. But me, Jesse T, just because I look at things a little bit different and I do a little homework and it just doesn't make sense. The dots don't connect. So how do you do this? You ready? Do you think Washington, D.C. tells us everything about our country's military and the sophisticated weapons that we have? Do you think that you and I actually know all of the special military bombs and bullets and satellites and planes and robotics and AI intelligence? Do you really believe that whatever you see on the internet, in the newspapers, that's a far cry. No one knows how to read anymore. Most Americans have a vocabulary of about 500 to 800 words. Oh, we have been dumbed down for 50 to 60, 70 years. It's unbelievable. I bet many of you don't even know what today is. It's December 7th, the day that will live in infamy, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, 1941 at 6 o'clock in the morning on a friggin' Sunday. Of course, today's not Sunday. Who cares? A long time ago, almost 100 years. You see, it's a beautiful thing. You think we know all the military? You think we know how to walk? We're only taught how to walk how we walk. We don't know how to walk any other way. Look it, we don't know half of what our government has. Eisenhower, the president of the United States of America, one of the last great presidents, said in his last speech, his departing speech, beware of the military industrial complex. JFK, in one of the last speeches 3 months before he was killed, beware of the secret societies and the media taking over generations to come, that we have to be the watchdog. There's a thing called directed energy weapons, and they have them on the drones that fly at 30 to 40,000 feet. And what they do is they fly around in the sky and nobody can see them. No one can even hear them. They're little blips on a radar, and if you're not looking for them, you can't find them. And some of them are really huge, like regular planes, and some of them are really small, like little mosquitoes. But they have these things called directed military energy weapons. In other words, laser beams. Hey, they're gonna put rail guns, electromagnetic guns on our newest fighting ships in the ocean, and they're already going to put laser beams on the next jets when they outfit them, the 22 Raptors, in the next couple of years. That we know. What is it that we don't know? Well, there's testimony of people online right now that at the Skirball fire in Beverly Hills or Brentwood or Bel Air, that at 2:30 in the morning, just before the fires happened, they happened to be out in their backyards doing whatever people do at 2:30 in the morning that live in 26,000 square foot houses in the backyards. Probably having some good old-fashioned fun, baby. Well, they saw blue lights hit certain points, several of them, and that's where fires started, at those same points. See how long those people live. How do you start 5 fires all in a 3-hour span? And nobody knows how they started yet. and nobody saw anything. And it all happened at 2:30 to 4, 5, 6 in the morning. A drone with a directed energy weapon. Zip, 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 zip. 5 fires, off the drone goes and lands at the secret base called S4. Oh, you know about secret base Area 51, right? You don't know about secret area base S4 within Area 51? That's more secret than secret? It's more secret than secret can be. You ought to look that one up. S4 in the area of Area 51. S4. I believe there's something going on here, and we aren't being told the whole story. We're never going to know the whole story. We're going to get a fabricated story. But what if that is true? It might not be. It might be the aspirations of my crazy brain all night long. But what if it's true? You know, they got these weapons. Come on, guys. This isn't science fiction. This is science reality. They can do whatever they want. They can freeze your money. Bitcoins, crypto economics, cryptocurrency. Why do you think the IMF has sanctioned that this year? They want to get their greedy rat bastard hands on it because they want to control it, because they want to control your money. They don't want you to know how much money you have in your account. They want to be able to flip a computer switch and you're gone, baby. Gone. Gone, baby. You ain't got no money. Now you fight for the next 40 days to get your money back. Yeah, right. Good luck. Wait for 5 to 7 years down the road. Mark my words. Put this in your calendar. Listen to me, Jesse T, when I tell you 5 to 7 years down the road, the minute these 7-foot robots become policemen and firemen that they already have that can jump 10 feet, 15 feet, run 50 miles an hour like a freaking cheetah, right? They already got them. You see them. If they're showing us the crap, imagine the crap that they got. AI intelligence. They got these sex dolls now where you can have sex with an AI intelligence doll. The freaking Saudis gave citizenship to the first doll, Sarah, Sophia, or whatever the heck her name is. Can you imagine? Who the hell needs a woman? Sexual harassment? You pedophilia perverts? You sexual deviants? Go get yourself a freaking doll. I'm telling you, man, you better beware and you better take care. You ain't going to stop shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. You ain't going to be able to stop nothing. But what you can be is aware. So at least you see it coming. And you can step out of the way if you so desire and choose. At least you got that. The worst thing is to get hit from the back when you didn't see it. The best thing, if you're going to get hit, is to get hit right from the front, because at least you might be able to duck. The world according to Torrero. Straight on the point with Jesse T. That's what I feel, and that's what I wanted to say today. We got you covered right here. We cover it all. And sometimes you may think, oh, Jesse, you're way out on the ladder there. You conservative, independent, Republican reject, right? Well, let me tell you something. You know, I am more conservative as I gotten older, and I've always been independent. Believe me. I've been Republican since I could vote because I had to pick something. But I believe that our political system is really only one. It's controlled by the 5 corporations, the 5 banks, and the 5 elite families, all for money, amorous power, and control. And they give up the money so that they can get control of the American public. So goes America, so goes the world. America will always be the police force of the planet Earth. It will always be America, the corporation. We are corporations. Did you know that when you're born, you get a birth certificate? Why do they call it a birth certificate? Because you are born, you are birthed. Where do you get that from? It's called the law of the water. It's maritime law. When cargo is being supplied to the land is solid, the water is fluid. The cargo ships come into and they berth at the harbor. And the supplies and materials and cargo comes off. And they get a certificate. It's called a birthing certificate, a birth certificate. We bust out of the womb of a woman, our mothers, in water. We are creatures of water. And we are birthed into the planet Earth. And we get a certificate called a birth certificate. We are owned from day one. All of us. If I ain't right, you tell me I'm wrong. Go do the homework on that one. It'll blow your friggin' mind. The Jesse T Show, 5 to 6 every day of the week right here, Monday through Friday. And tomorrow we're road tripping. Yeah, baby. We're going to be out there, Dan the Man, the Road Dog King and I. We're locking up lots of programs because we got a big thing that's going to be happening in 2018. Hey, we are going to be at the Family Film Awards, I believe, on Monday. That's Monday coming up. We're going to try to broadcast live from 5 to 6 here. I'm working the details about that. I'll just got to get the times and make sure that that's happening. So we got that coming up this weekend. Hey, be careful out there and take care of yourselves and shop, baby, because that's what Americans do. They spend their money, they get broke and spend some more. So why not? Let's do it right. Spend it all. Just spend some my way. Hey, look give me some of your money. I'll go spend it real good. You don't want your 5s, 10s, and 20s? Hey, I'll take them right off your back for you. No problem. Hey, you got all those racist, slavery-owned presidents on those bills anyway. Give them to me. I'll relieve you of your pain and suffering, baby. That's right. Ho! The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya!